You don't like to show the warts and all. That's what I can help you.
I can show you. I'll talk about the warts.
I'm nothing but a wart.
I'll talk about the warts. So, traumatic childhood, but also loving. It's just the weirdest mix.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're there, sometimes they're not. And so consistency, I learned that consistency is so important to me because that's what kids need. Mm-hmm. And I believe that if I can look at myself and do work on myself and make the changes, then I don't have to repeat it. And Max gets the benefit. My son Max. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, in a nutshell, that's like my biggest teacher is my son.
You have an 11-year-old son.
Yes.
And is it safe to say that you had him later in life?
I did have him later in life.
And you had him.
We have a lot of things in common.
But you had him.
Yes.
You physically had him.
Yes, I did.
And you physically got pregnant.
Yes.
There was no funny business.
No funny business. And
incredible. I wish I could tell people, but you're not going to let me do it. So.
That's okay.
When you had him, it's a miracle.
Yeah, it was.
It's a miracle. He's a miracle baby.
That's why his name is Jesus. Just kidding.
I bet having him at your age, you're so much wiser.
Yeah.
And he keeps you on your toes.
Oh, my God. He does. And you remember you were talking about...
This is your first child.
Yes.
You had your first child.
Yes.
This is a miracle.
That's why I want you to have one so badly.
I know. You keep pushing me down.
I know. I really do because it's the biggest gift. Remember you were talking about how the comedy bits come?
Mm.
So mine comes from anger.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm.
And a lot of comedians that happen.
True, yeah.
Like...
the best ones.
Max has ADD. You know that, right? Mm-hmm. He's got ADD. And so as a mom of a kid with ADD, it's really important to get the right meds.
Yeah.
So that they can focus and do well on school and have high self-esteem and confidence, right? So when I met a mom who had a kid the same age as Max, all I want to know is what meds are you using, right? Mm-hmm. So that whole exchange ended up with my bit about, oh, we don't believe in medication. But, when I asked her, like, what meds do you like? She goes, oh, I like Oxycontin, vodka. And my husband's more of a weed dude.
She thought you were talking about her?
Yeah. And I said, well, no, meds for your son. She goes, oh, we don't believe in medication. Like, I would never medicate my son. And she's like all doped up. So that real experience, there's the bit from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happens a lot then.
So you asked her, so she's on drugs, but she won't give drugs to her kid.
Right. Yeah. So that was my segue to doing my joke.
Did you just try a joke?
No, it's a tried and true. But
and Craig's your second marriage?
No. My one and true and only.
And Max is your first child?
My first child.
You were never married?
No, never.
Okay, you're lying. Sandy, wait. I was never married.
Never married?
Never.
How long have you and Alyssa been together?
Alyssa.
4
years and change.
And what are you waiting for?
It's a bigger question. I've been my whole life I've had girlfriends, my whole life, but, then I've had single and girlfriends. It's the...
What is the fear? Take you for everything you got?
No.
No. Okay.
No. In a weird way, it's weird. I mean, that could probably happen with anyone, I guess, but I've always been able to make money. It's more about just, you're responsible for someone's feelings. And that's a big deal. And I hate to say labels, but comedians are just myself. I remember myself, I had friends, but I also had alone time. And I didn't mind being alone. I'm comfortable being alone. I can take an airplane alone. I can take an Uber alone. I can go to the movies alone. I can go to the gym alone. I'm not even a person that needs to listen to music. So many people have to put some music on. Like they can't sit in their own head. And I'm like, no, I believe a lot of actors, comedians, athletes who have high stress jobs like that, and I'm like that. So I think with a partner, a lot of them, unfortunately, society has trained women in certain ways. It's not exactly helpful for them. That's like you need a man in a way, which is good, but it's also like if the man's doing something alone, that's somehow dissing the woman. And it's like, no, I just like to be alone. And that's a big thing. That's the different makeup between men and women.
I get it.
But I think you're probably a loner. And yet your husband, who I think is great, probably would be like, hey, where are you at? Don't you want to hang out? Even though he's super busy. Would you say you're more of a loner?
I do enjoy being alone.
Yeah.
I do.
I
do.
Well, it makes sense.
I fantasize about taking the Amtrak anywhere.
It's not
with my laptop.
Yeah.
Just having the train go. I love going on business class on the Amtrak with my laptop and just go and not get off and write and make sure that, kids are taken care of and my husband and stuff. But I get it. Yeah.
Where a lot of us are like that. It's like, because we serve as your escape. I always tell people, like, I do a lot of different things, but like, they're like, your life. My life is not hard, but it's intense. Like, I go to these autograph cons and they're incredible. They're manna from heaven. But the amount of energy that it's exchanged, like one person is just like a total collector. And I'll be like, hey man, just sign here, done. He's chill. Then you got someone else who's like, and they'll just start crying and they'll be like, why? And I'm like, Scream was the movie that I used to watch with my sister, and she happened to pass, and you'll just start feeling so bad. And then someone else, a little 13-year-old girl will come and she'll be like, and she's so excited. You're like, hi. And then you sign that. And then somebody will be like, yeah, I used to hate you. So and it's like within 4 exchanges, I've got, and that energy is palpable. It's real.
You pick it up. Yeah.
Yes. Do you ever see the Japanese scientist that yelled at water? This is true, Sandy.
Oh my God.
He yelled at water and then he put it under a microscope and the crystallines formed different. And then when he played Beethoven, they formed beautiful. Oh. So I believe that energy is actual physicalness and it affects us.
Yeah. Especially comedians.
Yes.
We soak it up. We did as kids.
Good ones.
Yeah. Yeah. We soak it up. Like my mom and dad, I remember starting being a comedian at like 5 or 6 years old. They would be fighting in the kitchen.
That was
my thing. Like, Dad was from Jersey, and his hard-boiled eggs were really important to him. Mm-hmm. And he didn't think that Mom got them right. It's a hard-boiled egg. How hard could that be, Olga? How hard could it be?
Your mom's name was Olga?
Olga. And she'd be like, but Louie, I timed it. I don't know what happened. And so then I would do them. And they'd start laughing, and I felt so powerful. I'm like, oh my God, I stopped my parents from fighting.
Yeah.
It was something else.
I find that with women. When I realize I can make a girl laugh.
Yeah.
A girl that wouldn't look at you, but if you broke through and she laughed, that was just another trick. Yeah. You didn't have to throw a football.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Oh.
You didn't have to have the best bike.
Right.
If you said something that they didn't think you knew about them and you knew it and they didn't think you could see it and they're like, what? And that's how you can get them.
Oh.
So the humor is used in different ways.
Right.
I did mine just to get out of, trouble.
Yeah.
I was always in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, the deflecting. It really is a gift, though. I think it's a gift,
What do you want to do now with your comedy? I know what you want to do, but what do you want to do?
Well, I'd like to continue. I mean, I think I told you about the movie that I'm writing.
I didn't hear about it.
it's like I want to give back.
Okay.
Anything that I've been given, and people have been so good to me. You're one of them, Jamie.
Well, you're a great person, and you're really funny.
Thank
and I but
go on. Can you say
no? But it's true. It's like I'd only known you the last couple of years, but you're really funny. You're very sweet. You will go. I love about you is you will go to the dirt to get it done. You have the work ethic. Well, you don't have to, right? Look at your life. You got a beautiful ring. I mean, you don't need to do any of this. And you have confidence, but you don't have an attitude. But you'll bite back at me sometimes, and now I'm like, okay, I maybe overstep my bounds.
You know what somebody said to me once? Like, it was the weirdest thing. It was a date.
Okay.
He goes, you're attractive. He goes, but you're really sweet. He goes, you're really nice. He goes, something's not right. Something. He kept going, something. And we started talking. And he found out a little bit more. He goes, oh, you used to be fat. Oh, that's why you have low self-esteem. You used to be fat. I didn't put it all together.
So then, how was the second date?
There was no second date. I thought that was the rudest thing. But, part of what he said is true.
Mm-hmm.
I was, eating my feelings. And they say if you stop, overeating, you find out what's eating you,
Oh, that's another good one.
There's a lot of good sayings, right? I love the slogan.
Yeah. Stop eating to find out what's eating you.
It's not what you're eating. It's what's eating you.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but that's because society usually, like a lot of, there's a lot with the new generation too. It's been throughout the whole history of sometimes women that are really pretty may not have to develop a personality, but that doesn't mean all pretty women don't have a personality. It's just not true. But,
no.
I applaud it when a woman is, has a personality. I mean, you can't stop it, but some women who are pretty, that sounded terrible when a woman has a personality. When a pretty woman, has a personality, when society kind of says you don't have to.
I see.
But that, meaning, they could just be, they always say, comedians, if you're good looking, why are you a comedian? You didn't have a hard life,
Oh, yeah.
But it's that's just not true.
No. They said, how did you, what do you mean you're a comedian? How did you get on stage? They needed the dishes done. And I said that I would do them and sweep the floor. And then they let me go on stage for a few minutes. I was so grateful.
Yeah.